Hey everybody, welcome into the OSG Garage. Today we're going to work on this. Think we can pop them out? Let's see. So a while ago, before I did this and blew out my Achilles tendon, I got this KX125. It's a 1999. The idea was I've got a KDX 200 for trail riding, and it's a great bike. I love it. I'm never getting rid of it. But I wanted something to get a little more aggressive with. Maybe go up on some motocross tracks. And this bike here has got a little bit more of the suspension that you need for that. Now, when I first bought the bike, it was a little rough. The engine was in great shape, clutch, brakes worked pretty good. It's got pretty decent tires on it, but someone had painted the swing arm. They painted the exhaust. The plastics were just really clapped out. At the time I got it, the swing arm bearings were pretty much shot, and I went to check on the front forks, and there was different oil levels on each side, and the oil was pretty trashed. So the idea with this thing is to work on it to get it to be a good bike. I went through all the suspension, pulled everything down to the frame, replaced parts as I needed them. They got all new bushings in the swing arm linkage, swing arm. Took all the paint off the swing arm and painted it the original kind of factory gray silver color. Forks have all been redone, gone through all the bushings. Any types of fasteners that it didn't have has been fixed. I needed a new front brake line, so I got a nice little one here. And all new plastic. So I'm not going to go crazy and do any like massive upgrades like Electron, or go crazy on the bars or the controls, or put fat bars on it at this point. The idea is I only paid less than $2 grand for this bike. So with the money I have in it, I think I could flip it and make a really good profit on it if I'm not into it. If I really like the bike, I could put the Electron on and really rip and go crazy. Now, that brings us to today. One of the things that this bike needs, sadly, is this pipe to be fixed. Now, this is a FMF Fatty Gold Series, and in the past I've done some work on fixing dents and pipes on the KDX 200. There should be a video up here I can link you to on how I did it at that time. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. People have put water in them and froze them. You can use hydraulic. They have these hydraulic pumps you can get online. It's a British company that makes it, and you can buy these things where you fill this up with water and then you pressurize this pump and it pops all these dents out. The method I'm used to using and that I'm set up for is using heat. Now, you see this online, and some guys go about it a little bit differently, but the idea is you plug up one side of this, plug up the side here, and interject air into the other side, and as you heat all of these dents, they just kind of form out. Now, the more heat you use, you need to use less air pressure. So in the past, I've had to do this with just like a regular propane torch. Now, in that original video, it took a long time, and I had to use a really high air pressure to do it. And that high air pressure gives you a little bit of a risk. We're going to use a little acetylene tank that I have to heat this thing up. Hopefully, I'll be able to use a little less air pressure in my setup, and we'll see how it works on these pipes, okay? I've got this custom clamp I made up. And basically, it's two pieces of flat stock here with kind of a hole cut out of the center that straddle this pipe here where this necks. And I've got two other pieces kind of welded to one side and welded to the other side. And then you can put a bolt through it to clamp it around the diameter of this pipe right here where it is. Now, this bar stock, this threaded rod here, then has a cap on this side with some rubber bushing material. This is just some old inner tubes. And then these two screws crank everything down to, in effect, seal this side off. And again, I'll put the link in the video. I'll show you how I made this in a separate video that I have. Now, on the other end, I've got access to a lathe, so I was able to use some aluminum bar stock here, some piece of stock, and I've got it fit just for this O-ring size that's on here right now. It's about a 5/1000 fit to the stock factory O-rings that are in there, and that'll give me the good seal I need. Got a quick connect and a valve here to get the air turned on and off, and a gauge so I can tell how much air is in there. Now, to hold this thing on, what I've done in the past is use safety wire, and I kind of wrap it around the pipe and use the hangers here to go ahead and cinch everything down. Like that. A couple loops of this and you're in good shape. So basically I'm gonna put a few loops of this stuff around, just kind of thread it, do a couple wraps here like this. Now a couple other things you could do is wrap this together to give it some strength with some extra tails here on the safety wire. It also helps to kind of cinch it down as you go up the loop of wires here. And I'm going to do this same thing on the other side with the tail that I have over here too. Just kind of wrap it. And this will pull it together, give it a little more tension. It'll increase the tension of this whole system down too. Because right now that could come off, but I think this will be pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing here, just give it a couple wraps, just to wrap all of the pieces together with the tail end here to gather in all these loops. Never hurts to give it a little extra. And there you go. And turn this valve off, plug in the air, and slowly add in a little bit of air pressure. The gauge will show where you want to go. This thing popped up a little bit, but it's good. It's good. Oh boy. Here we go. Put a little air on there, and I can feel a little bit of a crack right there. So we're going to have to go in there and grind that out. We're going to have to go in there and grind that out and TIG weld that thing back to clean that up. That's what happens sometimes when you first put the air on it. You see if you got any other issues. Probably saw when I first did that, I basically blew the living crap out of this. Somebody had the amperage set way too high for a pipe, so kind of blew a hole right through it, and we had to kind of re-weld it. So let's see if we've done any good here at all. Alright, I don't sense any thing about ready to blow up, and we've got about 45 psi in here right now. So I don't sense any issues here, so I think we're going to go ahead with this and give this the shot to try and pop out some of these dents. Try this guy here. Something to show you right here. As we were heating this area up here, we cracked a little seam right here. So this is probably a little bit rusty on the inside when we pop this thing out. This thing cools down a little bit, I'm going to have to come back in here and TIG this up. But take a look. I mean, you can see that pretty much all of those dents are pretty flush here. That worked out pretty good. Got saved programs here. I got one for, this is my aluminum program, so we can use pulse time on and off for this. And I've got another one, you can put up to 10 or 9 presets on it. This is the one for steel. So we're only going to put, that's real thin metal. I'm going to start off at about 70 amps right there. I've got to also put it on, I'm not going to use a pedal on this because of my foot. It's hard for me to work the pedal. So we're going to put it on 2T. So I'm just going to use the trigger that's on the torch, okay? Gas is on back there. Let's go. Hopefully you can see this. That is not pretty, but yeah, not pretty at all, but it'll work. All right, everybody, that's it. That's what it looks like with a little bit of cleaning up. I know it doesn't probably look the best to all of you, but I gotta tell you, it's got some shape to it now. This dent here, I probably should have popped out too. But it's way better than it was before. And my guess is we'll have a lot more power because of the fact that this pipe is actually going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing and giving it, helping the exhaust and giving the expansion chamber working and all that. All right, so that's going to be it today for the OSG Garage. Thanks for joining me today to work on this pipe. Remember, if you like what you see, give it a go thumbs up button down on the bottom. Hit subscribe if you already aren't. Hit us up on Instagram at OSG_garage. That's going to be it for now. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.